Hello, everyone. This is Rita Rue of
Creative Atmosphere.
and today I am here to pay tribute by way of character to the Bishop, Rance Allen. I just recently found out of his passing on Halloween. Just before that, my husband had informed me that Sean Connery had passed away as well. So, two of my favorites um, gone too soon. They lived a long life. I think Sean Connery was 90 and Rance Allen, 71. That's still fairly young. But I wanted to pay tribute to Rance Allen today by way of character. So, usually when I do a character or drawing of someone, I like to read a little brief history just in case there's someone who's not aware of who Rance Allen is. I want to read information that I found on Wikipedia. All right, here's the information that I Googled and came up with a Wikipedia article on the Rance Allen Group. The Rance Allen Group was a gospel group formed in Monroe, Michigan, and based in Toledo, Ohio, named after its lead vocalist, Bishop Rance Allen. Formed by vocalist, guitarist, pianist, and songwriter Rance Allen, who was born in Monroe, Michigan, with his brothers Tom, who played the drums, and Steve, who played the bass guitar. Another brother, Esau, was the percussionist. Joined the group on an intermittent basis. And let me just take a second to explain what's going on in the drawing. You can see that I'm switching back and forth between pencil and magic marker, and that's just because I want to minimize the mistakes that I make. So that pencil is making me feel confident that I'm going to marker in the right decision here. Now it'll get to a point where I don't need that pencil. Right now it's a safety net for me, but I'm using that pencil for every step as I progress along in this drawing. If you have a piece of paper, a pencil, and a magic marker, along with an eraser, grab it and draw along with me. I didn't extend that invitation earlier in this video, but please draw along with me. Also, I'm going to be doing some coloring on this one, so if you have colored pencils or crayons, you're going to need those. So hey, get all your tools and let's draw together. During an appearance at a gospel talent contest in Detroit, Michigan, they came to the attention of one of the judges, record promoter Dave Clark, who worked for Stack Records. The group was the first to be signed to the Stack imprint Gospel Truth, and they recorded for the Stack organization throughout the 1970s. In 1972, the group appeared in the documentary film Watts Stacks. Following this appearance, the group was named Best Religious Group by the National Association of Television and Radio Announcers, the NATRA. David Porter co-produced the group's 1975 album titled A Soulful Experience, for which he wrote an autobiographical song, Just Found Me. The group's incorporation of rock and soul into traditional black gospel music prefigure the crossover success of such artists as Amy Grant, Andre Crouch, and the Winans. In 1978, the group had a top 30 R&B hit titled I Belong to You. The group released one of its most famous songs, Miracle Worker, in spring of 2000. Now, just touching on that, crossover when they implemented the rock and soul sound into gospel music. That was a touchy subject at my household for a while, because well, my parents, in particular my stepfather, felt like they had taken out, God, and made it to where you could listen to music and, put whatever you thought that song. It could actually be construed as a love song, not necessarily a gospel song. We liked it, my sisters and I, as young adult or young people coming up, but the older people in my family, the older people in my church, yeah, they were thinking that they just went overboard with the implementing gospel and mixing it all up together with rock and soul. But it actually started a new genre of gospel music, because at one point you could hear some gospel music being played in the clubs. I remember when they played Kirk Franklin in the clubs, they played some of the Winans in the club, and it felt like they were crossing a thin line there. But for that time, I'd have to say the young folks were enjoying it. And that may have been introducing them to gospel. They may not have listened to it before, but they were now. So hats off to all of the innovators of genres. He's definitely an icon in gospel music who will be missed. And what was so funny? I remember having cousins who weren't in church at the time when they were in the clubs. They would come and talk to us about, hey, what's going on with gospel music? We heard Stump in the club last night, or whatever the song. Because I think the Whining was being played in the club. Jermaine Hawkins. I mean, pretty much everybody. Just every once in a while, the DJ would throw a gospel song in there, and they said some people would stay on the floor and dance, but a lot of the times people left the dance floor. So I thought that was interesting, and interesting enough for my cousins to come and say something to me. And I guess they did that because they knew we were in church pretty much every Sunday with my parents, and when they heard gospel music being played in the clubs, they were like, hey, what's going on? What's up with that? But they had to admit some of it they liked. But it was just something so very different to be in a club and have gospel music come on. They were shocked by it. But I would have to think that it brought some people out of the club and back into church as well. So, could be a good thing. It could have been a bad thing. But like I say, I think the young people, they enjoyed the sound of it, the sounds of gospel music. And some old people too. But the another funny thing too is now that music that was so cutting edge is kind of considered the traditional gospel music now. It's not so alarming or shocking to hear. And I think gospel music, it has changed again in what we hear on the radio. They do a praise type or worship music now. It's been a while since I've listened to the newest gospel songs. I hear one every once in a while, but I stick to, when I'm listening to it, the traditional gospel now, which happens to be the stuff that was playing when I was younger. Funny, huh? After drawing in Rance Allen's goatee, now I'm going to take my marker and use dots, little small dots, to form the appearance of Rance Allen's beard, which is somewhat of an after shadow. It's not a full beard. And I'm going to use a technique that I experimented with in a community class at Mary Grove College in Detroit. And the name of the technique was pointillism. And pointillism is a technique of painting in which small, distinct dots of color are applied in patterns to form an image. Now, when I was first assigned this assignment, I didn't think I would like it. I didn't think I'd have much fun at all. But once I tried it, I found out what I wanted to draw, which was a image, a landscape of a forest scene. I had quite a bit of fun. The trick was you couldn't mix your colors. You had to get your colors by applying the dots on top of one another. So if I wanted to create brown for the trees, I'd have to apply dots of yellow, blue, and red together. And if I wanted to create a green, I'd have to apply blue and yellow, orange, red, and yellow. So it was quite fun. I enjoyed the assignment. Well, we're going to take a pause for the cause. And I'm going to keep it here with the visual. It's just the audio that's going to change. So I'll be right back, right after this message. Tired of looking at regular old photos? Let Creative Artmosphere draw that photo as a fun caricature. Our artist Rita Rue is a warm and friendly creative that draws caricatures across America. Create a memory that will bring smiles and laughter for years to come. Creative Artmosphere can draw from photos submitted via email. To inquire about pricing, send a message to creativeartmosphere1@gmail or on social media by message to Facebook at Creative Artmosphere. Also, you can send a direct message on Instagram to creative_atmosphere. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel at Creative Atmosphere. And head over to Facebook and give the Creative Atmosphere page a like. Let us create a lasting memory for you and your family. And we're back after that brief break. Just before that break, I was talking about pointillism, the assignment that I had at Mary Grove, the community class, and how I didn't think I was gonna like it. Well, it turns out I liked it. I liked it a lot. And after I finished the project or the assignment, I actually sold it to someone who said they really liked the picture, and that it reminded them of some place their parents used to take them as a child growing up. So I just thought that was interesting how I actually made something that touched someone sentimentally. It made them remember fondly of their parents and places that they and a place that their parent took them as a child coming up. So that was special for me to not want to do the assignment at first. Then it turned out that I liked the assignment, and then on top of that, sold it to someone else who the picture actually brought great joy to. So that's a blessing in and of itself. And as you can tell, we're putting our first layer of color down. I already put that down. I'm going back with a shade that's a little bit darker than the first color put on, and forming those shapes with the color. His cheekbones, I'm not coloring in the whole surface of it, but I want to give the appearance of a roundness of the cheekbone and the roundness of the chin area. If I colored it all in at the same value, it would look flat instead of round. Still practicing on my coloring skills, and I'll get better with each attempt. I've seen some awesome videos of artists who are very skilled and talented with coloring, using coloring pencils, coloring sticks. Very inspiring. So if you get a chance, check out Rouser World. He's very talented in all the drawings and the content of his channel. And Mr. Allen, they're very talented characters, cartoonists. Check them out if you get the chance. And I'm going in and, as you can tell, just layering that color, giving it more value, going over some of the areas that I've already laid in, filling in that roundness of the areas. Well, the appearance of roundness. As you can see, I'm using color sticks here. The squareness of the stick is kind of what throws me off. I'm used to using something with a pointed end on it. So I've been trying to point those ends up without losing much of the color. I don't want to sharpen away too much of the color. That's kind of like a waste to me. So I figure if I use the stick long enough or on a regular basis, it's gonna, instead of being square, it's going to eventually turn into a point. Or I can sharpen it, but I just didn't want to waste any of the lead. So I'm kind of letting it happen naturally. If you're following along, I hope your drawing is coming out to your liking. Adding the finishing touches to the suit of Rance Allen. Thank you so much for tuning in and drawing along with me. If you didn't draw along with me this time, maybe next time. There'll be many more opportunities for you to draw along with me or for us to draw together. If you're waiting until you have the proper tools or materials, don't wait. Just get some practice in. Pick up a normal pencil, an average, whatever. Pick up a pencil, even a pen, and just get started. Gotta get started somewhere, right? This has definitely been a quite fun experience of drawing this character of Rance Allen. Once again, one of my favorite gospel artists. If you've never heard his music before, go check him out. You can YouTube his music and hear what Rance Allen sound like. And I'm sure you'll enjoy it. Not putting too much color down on his hair. Leaving some space white for the highlights, the representation of highlights. And I'm using that gray for the darker areas of his hair. Applying some of the darkest tones to his skin now. I put it in the eye area because the glasses form a shadow over his eyes. Well, this video is closing. It's come to an end. We gotta run. And until next time, we'll see you back here. Same channel, different subject. This is Creative Atmosphere, and I'm Rita Rue. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.